Hello and welcome everybody, Jean here with more Mars Anomalies. In this one I'll be showing you dozens of potential grave markers, Cairns and other markers on Pasithea Dorsum Ridge. Here's some background info just before we get started with the anomalies I discovered on Mars. I'll include the link to all the featured articles in the video description below. There's a nice breakdown of all the artifacts or anomalies I discovered on Mars as well. We've got manors, mounds, dolmens, enclosures, alignments and cairns, and a lot of these have spiritual and cultural significance. Many of them are used in some form of rituals here on Earth as well. And then we're looking at these strange alignments of megalithic rocks or boulders in Cairns in France. And many of these are seen as markers of special significance, and then also the cairns that are found in Iceland. And these are cairns where visitors to this region traditionally put more rocks onto these piles, and we'll see lots of those on Mars as well. And then there's the Wikipedia article going into more detail on what cairns are here on Earth. And I speculate what we'll be seeing is some of these that on Mars have been flattened and spread out over time. We do know that tremors are detected on Mars through InSight lander. So yeah, over time these potential cairns or piles of rubble or rock could have flattened out and spread out. But stick with me through this one, guys and girls. I know it's going to be a long video, but there's a bigger picture to show you here. Layered Sinuous Ridge in the Argyre Planitia. That's the photograph we'll be analyzing in this one, and it was acquired on the 10th of March 2009 at a resolution of 25.4 centimeters per pixel. And I'm showing you images I cropped from the JP2 black and white map projected file, just over 600 megabytes in size. And there's a look at the low-res JPEG, and the anomalies I'm going to be showing you are some of these white specks that litter this region. NASA was very intrigued with this site, and they photographed it 6 days later on the 16th of March 2009. So the first photograph, 10th of March 2009, and then again 16th of March 2009 at a resolution of 26.6 centimeters per pixel. Both of these photographs are high res, but they're not as clear as out of light, and you'll see the images break up a bit when I zoom in on them. The site we're analyzing is located in the larger Argyre Planitia at 55.79 degrees south, 316.72 degrees east, and it's over here on the Pasithea Dorsum Ridge. We'll also have a look at similar anomalies I discovered here in the recent past. Before we delve into the strange Carin or piles and alignments of stones, we're going to be checking out the usual anomalies first. Here we've got another one of these three-part objects where we've got two larger parts separated with a straight line and a small joining or bridging part in the center. This piece over here is about 14 meters across, and we've got the typical two larger parts, a separating line and the bridging part in the center. Check out the straight edges and right angle over there, guys. This one's also very similar to some others I've shown you. This is from the megalithic blocks of Argyre Planitia, an insight update, and there's the link to the original photograph. Also we have two larger parts separated with a straight line and a small bridging part in the center. This is from Comparable Architectural Designs in Proctor Dunefield, and we've got both of those in the same JP2, very close to one another, guys and girls. And this one I featured recently, Anomalies on the Plains of Tada Vallis. And then another disc-shaped object with a sphere or dome on it. That piece there is about 5 meters across, and the sphere on the top is about 2.5 to 3 meters in diameter. And we have another one of these strange megalithic blocks, got straight edges and right angles to it. That piece there is about 6 meters wide and about 12 meters long. And right there on the top, on the center of this one side, we've got that protrusion or knob. And it also appears as if this part of here has been hollowed out, like a ramp. Who knows what that is, guys? And there's a similar block. This is just one example of others I've found. The megaliths of Falegra Montes. Got the rectangular block, and right there on its surface in the center we've got another protrusion or knob. I've got another megalithic block over here, about 6 by 12 meters in size. Got straight edges parallel to one another, right angles, and there's a bevel or step carved into the one side. Very similar to another one I found. This is in part 3, the curious enigma of Tanais. So I have a block with this smaller rectangular carved out or machined out area. Parallel ridge lines there. This looks like some type of terrace, guys, and lodged into the side we've got another huge bright disc. That there's about 12 to 14 meters in diameter, so check that out. Perfectly rounded disc. There's another one. This is from the discs and ruins of Pyramus Fossae, and it's the same size as this one. And then in the same photograph where I discovered this disc, we've also got two other really weird anomalies. This piece over here is about 8 meters across, and it's got like a flange design to it with this dark spot right there in its center. Some symmetry and geometry there. And inside of this rectangular clearing we've got what looks like a little craft, and that there's about 8 meters across as well. We've got the disc, a dome in its center, and then two what looked like wings on either side of that dome over there. Another strange anomaly over here with a little protrusion or knob on it, and that piece is about 6 meters across. Check that out. Right there on its center we've got that protrusion. There's two of these objects in this photograph, guys. That piece there is about 12 meters across, and off to the one side through the center we've got a protrusion or knob, and there it is up close. As I say, the photograph is very blurry, so when I zoom in on it you get a bit of breakup, but you can see the detail to discern the shapes. There's another one, and that's the same size, and also it has a protrusion or knob to the right. So there the two are to compare. and some similar designs. This is from Return to Protonillus. This is a pristine example, a very straight edge to this piece. It's a very smooth, flat surface, and this disc shape over here to the left. And there's another piece, was a long, narrow piece, Drava Vallis structures, debris and wreckage, and the protrusion over here to the one side. And there's an example where we've got a long, narrow piece with two protrusions or knobs on either side. So, were megalithic blocks with knobs manufactured on Mars? And then that object over there, about 8 meters across, also has a protrusion or knob on it. Check out the straight edges over there and the right angle. This plectrum shaped object over there with a little square on it, it's about 8 meters across. Check out the shape. We've got another one of these plectrum or pumpkin seed shaped objects, guys and girls. There's the little square block on it. And then we're looking at this anomaly over here with two protrusions on it, and that's about 12 meters across. And up close it looks like another one of these half a disc shaped objects. It's a straight line running through there, with the one half on the top. Check out the two protrusions on it, close to its center. And then we're looking at the alignment of those small blocks over there. Each block is about 1.5 meters wide, arranged in a square pattern. Check out the spacing between those. 4 more blocks, a little bigger. These are about 3 meters across, and they're also arranged in a perfect square. Check out the spacing between those. Something similar over there, also about the same size. 4 more blocks arranged in a square pattern, and we've got symmetry and geometry in that. And there they are for you to see the uniformity and similarity between them. There's dozens of these anomalies, guys and girls. We've got 6 blocks arranged in 2 rows over there, parallel to one another. Each block is about 2 meters across, and we've got the 2 rows. Check out the spacing between those. Right there, similar, facing to the northwest. We've got 6 blocks arranged in 2 rows of 3 each. Check out the symmetry and geometry in that spacing. And there as well, facing in the same direction, we've got 6 more blocks arranged in that pattern. And there as well, got another 6 blocks. These 2 on the side here are a little bit bigger, but we've got the 2 rows over there. The arrangement of those 6 blocks are pointing in the north-northeast direction, and check out the spacing between those 2 parallel rows of 3 blocks each. This structure over here is pointing in the same general direction, and we've got 2 rows, 6 blocks, 3 blocks in each row. Check out the uniformity and similarity in this, guys and girls. So how does this happen in nature? And this is all within a 2x4, roughly 2x4 kilometer area. These look like they've been placed in those patterns to me. These piles of rocks look very, very similar to those that we find here at various locations on Earth. specifically in Iceland and Scotland, for example. Check out this weird design here. That whole piece there is about 15 meters across. Got 2 rows parallel to one another there, 3 blocks in each, and 2 larger blocks here to the left, and a larger block over here to the top. Some strange geometry going on there. Here's another very interesting alignment over here, and that over there is about 12 meters across. Got 2 rows parallel to one another, 3 of these rocks or stones arranged geometrically, and then 2 smaller ones over here to the top. We've got 2 parallel rows there again. Check out all the blocks over here, guys and girls. We're specifically zooming in on that, and that there's about 15 meters across. Got a long narrow piece over here with 4 of these smaller rocks or boulders arranged in a circular pattern around it. Yeah, we're looking at this alignment, and that there's about 15 meters across. Got 3 blocks in a row in the center, and then 2 blocks on either side. That there looks like it could be an opening or a hole, this donut shaped object. Another one over here. There's another alignment of 6 rocks or boulders in 2 parallel rows there, but we'll zoom in on this. That there's about 12 meters across. Here we've got 6 rocks or boulders aligned in 2 parallel rows again. 2 boulders stacked on either side. Here's a very interesting row of anomalies as well. We'll check out some of these shortly. Let's check out this pile of boulders or rocks over here. That there's about 20 meters across, and it looks as if these rocks or boulders have been arranged in a circular pattern. Here we've got a rectangular alignment of rocks or boulders, and that there's about 15 meters across. Got 3 rows of these rocks or boulders arranged in parallel lines, forming a square or a rectangle. Check that out. There the alignments of these rocks or boulders are side by side for you to compare, and check out the similarity between those again. These two over here are very, very similar. Here we're looking at similar alignments. We've just got more rocks or boulders in each row, and that there's about 20 meters long. Check out the row over here, and then in parallel we've got that row over there. Here's another similar alignment going on there, guys. We've got 2 rows in those. We've got 4 blocks in each row there. The alignment over here is pointing to the northwest, and we've got 2 rows of 4 blocks each. In this cropped image we're looking at this strange structure over there, pointing in the northeast direction, and we've got 2 rows over there. That piece is about 18 meters long. The 2 rows, look at the way these rocks or boulders fit together. Got like chevron shapes to it. 2 rows over there, that there's about 20 meters long, And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks in that row, and parallel to it over there we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, possibly 5 rocks or boulders. The alignment over here is looking up to the northwest, and we've got 2 rows parallel to one another there, and that's about 20 meters long as well. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 rocks or boulders there, and then 1, 2, 3 in this row over here. Yeah, it's also interesting to note how these are being placed next to one another. And again, look at the uncanny resemblance in these alignments. And here too we've got dozens of these piles of rocks or boulders, and we'll zoom in on that pile over there. These remind me of those that we find in Iceland. Check these out. Uncanny resemblance. What's interesting about this over here is the triangular block, straight edges and a right angle over there, folks. Very unusual to see that in this photograph as well. More piles littering this part. Here we're looking at those 3 piles over there, and it looks like these might have been Carin that have toppled over. Check out the way these boulders spread out towards the left over there. So did a tremor or multiple tremors hit this part of Mars? More piles and mounds over here, guys. We're going to zoom in on the pile over here to the bottom right, and also it looks as if these were arranged in a circular pattern, somehow flattened and dispersed over time. And there they are for you to compare. Very similar to what we find here on Earth. And this is just one example that I show you here from Iceland. There's many other regions on Earth where we find similar piles or mounds of these rocks and boulders. In this segment we're looking at the placement of boulders or rocks in long rows, very similar to those found in Cairns, for example. This row here is about 20 to 25 meters long. It's got a straight row of boulders or rocks there, and then the semicircular alignment over here to the bottom. And there you can see the alignment in a site in Cairns. Right, there it is close up. You can see the straight row over there, and the semicircular design over here to the bottom. Also looks like there's a row going through there, parallel to this one. Yeah, we're looking at that straight line of boulders or rocks there, and it's about 20 to 25 meters long. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 placed in a row. Seems like there was another one over here to the left and another one to the right, but it sticks out like a sore finger, just like the row of rocks or megaliths over there. That there's about 15 meters long. Got 1, 2, 3, 4 of those in a row there. Check out the spacing between these, guys. Another row of here pointing in roughly the same direction, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 in that line over there. There's another row over there pointing up to the north, and that there's about 20 meters long. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 in that row. 4 more boulders here, guys and girls. pointing roughly to the west, and that line there's about 15 meters long. Look at the spacing between those again. Here we'll take a look at those boulders over there pointing roughly to the west, and look at the spacing between those, starting from the largest, gradually going down to the smallest. So there's some geometry in that design. Check out these 4 blocks, 1, 2, 3, 4 of them, and each one's about 5 by 5 meters in size, and they're arranged in a row. Check it the way these two seem to fit together. So the question is, are we looking at artifacts on Mars similar to those found here on Earth, and specifically in this example in Cairns, France? Check out the alignment over here. That is a massive line of megaliths over there, guys. That's almost 25 meters long, and very similar to that there in Karnak. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in a row there. Check out the spacing between those again. Not random boulders or rocks. There's another row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in a line there, and you can check. These look like small blocks. Each one's about 5 by 5 meters in size. Got a nice triangle over there at the one end. This one's very faint, but you can make it out right there. It's about 25 meters long, folks, and it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, possibly 10 boulders or rocks in a line there. This row of blocks is about 20 meters long, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in a row, and it seems we've got another row over here to the left. Are we looking at intelligent design here, or a mere freak of nature? The similarities between these are uncanny again. Right, in this segment we're looking at 3 anomalies arranged in a row that there's about 10 meters long, and up close we can see they're very similar in size, and the spacing between them is also intriguing. 3 more in a row over there, and we can see they're basically similar in size with equal spacing between them. So for your convenience there, the 2 are side by side for you to compare. Here we're looking at lots of parallel lines and right angles. These look like foundations of old ancient structures. Check this out. We've got a right angle over here. Artifacts aligned parallel to one another. Let's take a closer look at the alignment of those blocks or slabs. This side over here is about 20 meters long, and this side about 25 to 30 meters in length. But 2 straight, what look like walls or foundations with a right angle between them. And then this strange alignment over here, we've got like a disc shape, almost 25 meters across. It consists of 3 similar quarters, and in the 4th quarter we've got alignment of 3 smaller parts. Long narrow piece here, almost the same length as those 2 smaller ones next to one another there. Right, then we're looking at that alignment. Each block is about 8 meters long. And then that strange geometry in that pattern, that there's about 15 meters across. Another circular design over here. Check it, the way these blocks fit together. We've got like an L shape over here. The long narrow piece in this alignment is about 15 meters long, and parallel to it we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks with some other oddities in the vicinity. These 2 blocks over here look very similar to those that are aligned in that row over there. Let's go ahead and check that site out in Argyre Planitia, and it's on the ridge of Pasithea Dorsum, right there, folks. There's a brief look at the anomalies, and I'll be showing you some others at some other sites that look very similar to these guys. And then over to the east, this site I feature in megalithic ruins of Oceanidium Mons, and there's a look at some of the artifacts and anomalies I discovered there. Interlocking blocks. Another megalithic block or slab with a smaller rectangular part on it, arranged parallel to the one side there. And then that dome-shaped object there is also fascinating. You can see this part over here. It's got like right angles to it. Small little dome or knob on the surface of that. Definitely like a dome shape. It's got this convex design to it. That there looks as if it could be an opening. And then off to the west, megaliths at Argyre Planitia. Look at the alignment of these blocks and slabs, guys. Multiple parallel rows. Similar size blocks, and look at the way they've been arranged next to one another. The alignment of these blocks looks almost like brickwork here on Earth. We've got 4 smaller blocks in a straight line, and then 2 larger ones next to each of these. So check out the geometry in that design. So let's have a look at one last site over here. More blocks and slabs. This looks almost like a sculpted eye. This piece it's got like a step on it on the one side. Did I stumble across a sacred site on Mars, or are we looking at random geology? Guys, if I did stumble across a site of spiritual and cultural significance, I do plead with future Mars explorers to please treat this site and others like it with the respect it deserves. I even propose that these sites be declared heritage sites. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye for now.